Now, Diepsloot in northern Johannesburg is one of the riskiest areas to live in South Africa. This year alone, more than 20 people have been killed in violent incidents. Police statistics show that crime in Diepsloot is usually high over weekends, with taverns being well-known crime hotspots. The Diepsloot community, who has been constantly complaining about undocumented migrants who they claim are involved in the crime in the township, are now taking the law into their own hands. Earlier this month, 7 people were killed in 2 separate incidents of alleged mob justice. Now, the community has accused the 7 of terrorizing the area. News Central's Bongani Siziba has more.
Elvis Nyati, a Zimbabwean national, was brutally murdered in April 2022. A victim of mob justice, he was burned alive, accused of a crime he did not commit. On the 3rd of December 2023, another death, another funeral for 7 people who were tied up and burned to death, suspected of a crime wave. This is Diepsloot, a densely populated slum in the northern west outskirts of Johannesburg, South Africa, where economic hardships, high crime rates, and social tensions abound, and where lives are claimed every day as a result of mob justice. In this same community, another family mourns the loss of another soul, bereaved and perplexed as to why their relative was burnt to death.
And on that night, my cousin was going to church. He left the house at around 9 with his friends. So on their way to church, they met the community who were looking for the thugs who were terrorizing the community area at number 13. So what we heard is that those groups, the community were in 2 groups. The first group called my cousin. They spoke to them. They searched their bags. They found that those 2 guys were going to church. So they let them to go. When they were still on their way, they met another group, which that group didn't say anything to them. They just attacked them and killed them and burned them.
For a long time now, foreigners desperate for safety have been urging locals to let peace reign. They say for too long they have been unjustly blamed for crimes they had no part in.
The inaction that took place during the banning of Elvis Nyati is now showing its consequences. We are now looking at something that when the police did not take any action during the banning of Elvis Nyati, they thought it was a xenophobic attack. Right now we are seeing that it was not a xenophobic attack, it was actually a criminal attack. Because right now what the criminals have done, they have killed 2 foreigners and killed 5 South Africans.
Locals, on the other hand, say they want them gone. This woman here says she is a victim of crimes committed primarily by Zimbabweans.
Lena ke victim ba ile ba ntsenela basimana ba Zimbabwe ba itere ba re banyaka tšhelete ka ra mokhuku ba ntsenetse ka masa ka 3 o'clock extension 1 Diepsloot ke thoba boroko ka basimana ba Zimbabwe mo Diepsloot ha yo re ba thoile re thoile megwa ya bobona.
They also blame the police for failing to curb crime.
Actually, the policing in Diepsloot is porous. It's very bad. At the point in time, as I'm speaking to you, last night alone, then 2 bodies lied down. They were gunned down by the said criminals in our area. Unfortunately enough, as a community, we're in the center, we're between the rock and the steel. Here are the criminals, and then at the other side, there are police. So we are between the police and the criminals. So we've got nowhere to run to.
The police say they are committed to working with communities to target crime hotspots in Diepsloot.
April to September, the team managed to arrest 786 undocumented persons. So it clearly shows that we are responsive in terms of dealing with what the community are concerned about. But when we discuss, we'll also mention what is that which the community is not helping us as law enforcers.
Among the 7 burnt to death in the recent incident in Diepsloot were 2 Zimbabweans. News Central TV spoke to Zimbabwean Consul General Mr. Elias Piri on continued killings of his fellow countrymen and the allegations against them.
It's unfortunate whenever they are labeled that when such incidents happen, Zimbabwean, the name of the Zimbabweans come out louder than any other. But it is our emphasis that Zimbabweans should comply with the regulations of the host country.
Zimbabweans in South Africa, for their part, blame the failures of their government for their living in South Africa and blamed for crimes.
People of Zimbabwe are really suffering. That is why we are running away to South Africa. At the same time, we are here in South Africa, we are not wanted. Some of our brothers were burnt on Saturday in Diepsloot. Every crime that is being committed here is being called Zimbabweans. We have nowhere to run away to.
As both the community and the police continue their efforts to find a solution to curb crime in Diepsloot, foreign nationals remain worried about their being unjustly scapegoated, with innocent lives being extinguished in a misguided pursuit of justice.
From the Randburg Magistrate Court in Johannesburg, Bongani Siziba for News Central TV.